Shemai. Today we're going to have a look at tying a Prusik knot. A Prusik knot is a way of putting a loop of rope around another rope, and it's got lots of uses. It's a friction knot, so it's been used by arborists, so tree surgeons, mountaineers, climbing, caving, rope rescue, and although it's now sort of considered to be a slightly outdated method of ascending and descending, so going up and down ropes, it's still used by some of the American military on training exercises. Now, it was invented by, or it's claimed to be invented by, an Austrian mountaineer, Dr. Karl Prusik, who used it for exactly that, mountaineering, and it's to keep you safe on a standard line. So the idea is that you have a closed loop of rope. Now, this is one that's got a splice in, so it's a continual loop of rope. You can see there's no sort of start and finish to it. I'm not going to use that one. I'm actually going to use a length of rope. So I've got a length of rope here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to put two fisherman's knots in either end, which will join it, and I've already done that. So I've got my continuous piece of rope, but I've put two knots in it. Now, these are very, very secure knots, so I can put as much force on those and they won't undo. So there's my loop of rope, and that's what I'm going to be using to tie my Prusik. You can hear what a miserable day it is. That's why we're out in the shed again today. But first thing I'm going to do is take my rope. Now, you've seen this rope that I've shown you, and to make it into a loop, because I haven't got a fixed loop one, I'm going to put a double fisherman's knot in that. So there's one that I've already done. So there's my double fisherman's knot. Okay, now that's really rigid. That's a safe knot. So that now forms my complete loop. You can see it's a continuous loop. Now, the general rule of thumb is that this rope, the attaching loop rope, should be no more than 70% the diameter of your main rope there, and you can see how much thinner this one is. So the idea is it's because you want it to it's a friction hitch, so you want it to bite onto that rope, you want it to grip onto that rope. Now, that's dependent as well on if it's icy or if it's wet, and actually the materials that the ropes are made of, but I know these two work well together. So what we do, we're going to pass your looped piece of rope around the back, and basically what we're going to do is just keep feeding it through there. So I'll just get my first one, and I'm just going to take it and feed it through there, so you can see that I've fed it through itself there. And I'm just going to do that 2 more times. So I'm going to take that looped end and tuck it through there with the double fisherman's knot as well, and pull it. There we go. And now you can see that would already work, and you can see it's very neat. You mustn't have any of these bits twisting over each other, and the tails, these two ends, always come out through the middle, because you can see if I space them out, you've got the outer ones, the middle ones, but I'm going to do it a 3rd time just to make it even safer. So I've opened it up, I'm going to take it around the rope for the 3rd time, tuck it through there, and pull that tail. Now you can see that looks a bit of a mess, so I need to dress that knot. Now if you just look there, it's crossing over. So what I need to do is make sure that one goes there, because they all have to run. There we go. That looks, you can see it's so much better. There's nothing crossing over. And the 2 tails are coming out through the middle. Now, this works on friction, like I say, and the beauty of a Prusik knot is that it works if you pull downwards or if you pull upwards. So I could put as much weight on that as I wanted and pull on that as hard as I can, and it will hold. This rope will bite against the main climbing rope. But if I take the weight off and I push on the knot, it will slide up and I can pull it down again. And if I want it to come down, I pull on the top and slide it. Now, for climbing, and this knot's particularly sort of sentimental to me, I guess, because when I first learned to climb with a rope and harness, this was the knot that we used. So you'd have that continuous loop, you'd then take your carabiner and you'd clip it into the underside of that there, and that would attach to your harness. Now this, you would use your body and pull down to take your weight off, and then you would slide that up with your hands, and then if you put weight on there, it would hold, and then you go up again, and if you put weight on there, it holds. So that is super safe and won't slip. Now even with your weight on it, if you pull on the top of the knot, it will slide down, it releases the pressure, and it will slide down that rope. There we go. And like I say, it will work both ways. Now although this is mainly for climbing and mountaineering and things, it has loads of uses. If you used it horizontally, so side to side, you can use it for, there we go, attaching something that needs to be held in place. And if you want to move it, just slide it. So there we go. Very simple to tie. Loads and loads of uses. But as always, you've got to be safe. So don't go considering using this yourself for climbing or for anything that would put you into any sort of danger. So there we go. The Prusik hitch or Prusik knot. As you can see, it'll slide up, come back down, and it's great. It's not just used for climbing. I've used it when putting up shelters and tarpaulins, because you can slide it to keep it tight, and then once you want it off, just unslide it and it will go slack. And it can be used, once you can tie it well, you'll start to see what an important knot it is and how many different applications you can use it for. So there we go. It's a nice simple one to learn. Have a go and good luck.